Welcome to Witham Sounding Board, a podcast sharing powerful business tips, insights, and trends for those seeking to become a rock star in their industry.
Good day, and welcome to Witham's Lodging Insights and Innovations podcast. My name is Lena Combs. I'm a partner here at Witham and the practice leader of the firm's hospitality services team. Today, I have with me Paul E. Rigo, who is the president of Swiped Unlimited, a payment processing company offering solutions to the hospitality industry and more. Today, we'll be talking about credit card processing and cash discount programs for the hospitality industry. Thank you, Paul, for joining us today and talking about this timely topic and providing your insights to the lodging industry.
Thanks for having me, Lena. I appreciate it.
Great. Well, let's get to it. So, Paul, can you explain to me what is a cash discount program and, is it legal in every state?
Sure. So a cash discount program is technically we're offering a discount for customers that pay in cash, right? And this is what merchants want to do. The real goal of it is for all these businesses, hospitality, lodging, any industry really, to offset these very high credit card fees. So a cash discount is whatever their normal price is. If it's $100 for argument's sake, if they pay with cash, really their price would be $102. And if they pay with cash, now it's $100. So we're actually offering the customers a discount to pay with cash. And the best example of this is for decades now, we've all been trained when we go to a gas station, right? It's the best example when people say, hey, what's a cash discount? What's the difference? A cash discount is when you go to a gas station and you see literally on the sign, it says, credit price and cash price. And what happened is years ago, before it was completely legal, the gas station said, hey, we're going to charge you more money if you're going to use your credit card because we don't want to pay the extra 3-4% to using this huge amount of money in transactions. And what they did, though, is they found the loophole and they said, wait a minute, we're not charging more for a credit card. That's our regular price. We just offer a discount for cash. So they were able to, I don't want to use the word get away with it, but that was kind of how they circumvented at the time when it was illegal to charge additional fees for a credit card. Now, over the years and decades later, more and more businesses are trying to offset those costs. So all industries and businesses have really gone towards a cash discount program. So you get a slight discount if you pay with cash or a check versus the business having to incur those high credit card fees.
And is that legal in all 50 states now?
It is legal in all 50 states. So, over the past several years, so back in 2010, there was the Dodd-Frank Wall Street reform, and part of the Consumer Protection Act that basically said it is legal for all businesses to offer a cash discount. Now, there's a difference between cash discount and a surcharge. On the surface, it seems like it's the same, but cash discounts are pretty much accepted everywhere. However, surcharging is not legal in all states, and there's a lot of regulations that go along with it. What percentage you can charge as a maximum. Some states don't allow you to add a surcharge of any kind. So whatever your posted price is, that's what you have to charge the customer, no matter how they pay, by debit, credit, or cash. It doesn't matter. So that's, but yes, technically, it absolutely is legal. Cash discount in all 50 states, but not surcharging.
Just to follow up on that, is there sort of a usury threshold on the cash discount program? So is there some limit to what people could actually offer as a discount?
Great question. So in terms of a credit card rate, in terms of a cash discount, legally you can only go up to 3.99% if it's in the nature of a cash discount program. Right, and there's some other, and so that's the amount, and then there's some other things that really go along with the legality of it, and it has a lot to do with communication. You can't surprise customers that there's a different price if they're paying with cash or paying with a credit card. So there's things that we do here at Swiped that help the customers or the merchants actually stay compliant, which is one of the big things, in choosing a credit card company. You want to make sure you got a company that's, looking out for the merchant's best interest, is fully aware of all the laws, regulations, and compliance issues. So I know you kind of didn't ask the question, but we make sure that the merchant has the proper signage up in their place of business, we make sure that there's signs at the door. If it's a restaurant, on the menus or at least at the point of sale where they're actually making the transaction, to show that, hey, we offer a cash discount of 3.99%. Sometimes businesses choose to do less of a discount, but 3.99 is actually the maximum legal amount.
Okay, great information. So, when or why, maybe both, should a business consider using a cash discount program, and what types of businesses are best to implement something like that?
Okay, good question. The easy answer is all businesses are a good target or a good industry, for a cash discount program. Everybody who's in business is in business to make money, and with these credit card fees, sometimes if there's all different ways that credit cards get charged. Sometimes those fees for the merchant could be over 5%, if it's an international American Express card or something. So when all is said and done, with an average of maybe 3.5% to 4% of fees, any business can use that additional 3.5% to 4% of revenue, of profit in their business. When we talk to our customers, large and small, it doesn't really make a difference. We explain to them that, they say, hey, do you have any business partners? Yeah, I do. I got 4, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover, because they get 4% of the majority of my revenue, having nothing to do with profit. So all businesses are good, but especially businesses that have a high amount of transactions and a low profit margin, because this makes a difference in their profitability. And, the small businesses in the hospitality, they really thank us because we make such a difference on their bottom line and their profit. So the answer is all businesses, but, some are, need it more than others.
Great. So, do you see that businesses ever lose customers or receive a lot of complaints when they start to implement a cash discount program?
The short answer is no, but the longer answer is all merchants or most merchants are usually afraid of that, right? That's their big fear, to say, oh, I'm going to start, and they see it as adding a fee to, charging more money to charge a credit card. But the reality is that, people have loyalty towards their customers. Some of them appreciate getting a discount if they pay with cash, but ultimately, especially the smaller business with the smaller profit margins, they really need to do whatever they can to subsidize and, stay in business. So a lot of the customers that are loyal, if it's your restaurant or your hair salon or, a place of business that you frequent, they're really not going to complain. So, a few people may mention it. This is the feedback we get from all of our merchants. Initially, it's almost like ripping off a Band-Aid. They may get 2 or 3 complaints, but here's the reality of it. We tell every customer that tries the cash discount, if they don't like it for any reason, if they get too many complaints, literally we can just dial in, remotely and reprogram their terminals where within less than 30 minutes they can go back onto a traditional program. So it's our policy that when somebody switches to us and goes with a cash discount program, we follow up in 3 or 4 days. Hey, how's it going, Lena? Is everything okay? Have you received complaints? Well, a couple of people mentioned it. Would you like us to switch back? And they go, no, absolutely not. Do you know how much money we're saving? And it becomes business as usual. And depending on what area, a lot of parts of the country now are flooded with cash discount programs. So, pizzerias were always afraid, hey, I don't want to be the only pizzeria. But now every pizzeria is doing it. Every hair salon is doing it. Every tattoo parlor is doing it. Most of the larger companies are starting. The big retail enterprise are not yet. But I think ultimately we're about 18 months to 2 years away from every business really passing along that fee as an option.
Sure. The first prediction of the day.
Yeah, we've got a few.
Yeah. So, are there differences in the size of company that payment processors can work with, and what are those delineating factors?
So, when you're talking about a difference of, and kind of like we mentioned earlier, right? So the smaller merchant with the smaller profit margin really is good for, certain size processors. But when you start getting into the large enterprise clients, so let's take hospitality for an example, large chains like a Hilton or a Marriott, credit card processing, like most businesses, is based on volume, credit worthiness, and reputation. So a company like a Marriott or a Hilton or one of these big chains is going to have a lot more credit worthiness, and their volumes are just astronomical. So there's only a certain amount of credit card processors or fixed credit card processors that could really service that industry at the volume and scale. Hospitality is one of those industries. Supermarket chains is another one. Some of these big national supermarket companies, their volumes are so high, then their margins are so low that 90% of credit card processors can't make those investments into those type of companies because there's an investment with that. There's equipment, there's point of service, computer systems that go with it. It's a big thing. So they really need to do their homework. And there's ways to do that also. We always recommend get some referrals from other people in your industry. We say attend your trade shows, these expos and trade shows, typically people that are in your business, servicing your business, the old birds of a feather flock together. But and it has to do with credit worthiness. There's industries that have high reputable and low reputable. And this industry is all built around chargebacks. It's credit worthiness because the credit card processor, we are funding, we're laying out the money, lending these people money. We're paying the merchant, and the customer is going to pay, 30 days later. So we're the ones at risk. So the lower the risk for the business or the industry, the better fees that they can get. And there's certain companies that cater towards certain industries.
Right. So it sounds like it's a little bit binary, that it would be hard for a hospitality company to do anything to position themselves because it's really about size of transactions, right? Credit worthiness, especially in this industry. Is there anything that you could think of that would be helpful to some of our listeners if they were in the process of looking for a new processing company that could help position them to have more options? Or is it kind of fixed, like you say, by size and those other factors?
Size has a lot to do with it, just because of volume, discounts. But the technology has a lot to do with it. And the company that you're dealing with has a lot to do with it, right? So there's legalities, especially if a company is going to implement a cash discount program. But there's things that I'll say the common, all industries and all companies are as good as the salespeople, right, that are representing them. So even especially in the hospitality, there are ways to always lower those fees. So you want to do business with a company and choose a company that, knows your industry, knows your business, because there's ways. So like a little trick, people can lower their credit card fees. Whereas if credit cards are taken on the phone, that's the most expensive way to process a credit card. If it's a swipe, the old magnetic swipers, which are now going away, it's more secure because they actually have the physical card. If there's a chip reader now and they stick the chip in, that's even higher. So the more security you have, the lower your fees are. And it takes a good representative of the company to discuss those things with their clients. And just like real quick, you ever go like to a supermarket or something and you'll see they'll call, or a gas station when they ask you to type in the zip code, right? It's or the area, the zip code, and it's annoying, right? You never want to give the zip code. However, they're doing that to eliminate fraud and chargebacks, and they pay a lower fee every time they type in that code. It's just validating the credit worthiness. And a good credit card company will educate their customers on all these options to lower their fees when it comes to traditional. On a cash discount, it's a little different, but those are the type of things that enterprise clients, hospitality customers should be looking for, is a credit card processor who specializes in their area, works well with their clients, and has other clients of similar size.
I did not know that. It's sort of like dual factor authentication for consumers, right?
That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what
Right.
it is.
Oh, I always wondered about that, and I learned something new today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, does your business, Swiped Unlimited, do you guys service customers anywhere in the country and all types and sizes?
We do. We service in all 50 states. We have everything from, hotels down to, medical offices, dentists, plastic surgeons. But I will say that we do not have super large enterprise clients like a Marriott or a Hilton. But we do have a good amount of independent owners and operators, in the hospitality industry, hotels, motels,
Sure.
long, short stays, things like that. So we are in the business. So we cover a full spectrum. We're a full payment technology company, and not to give a shameless plug, but we really a payment technology company, so we can service everything from online gateways, online processing, in-store terminals, POS systems, mobile solutions, drive-throughs, so all these other things that people really appreciate now. These smaller merchants, they're on old technology, and technology is changing so quickly, and the payment technology business is one of them. So when we see these places that are on these old technologies, they're paying more money than they need to. So we try to help upgrade them.
Great, great. Well, I think that's important information as people might need to make a change to think about all those different factors in choosing a payment solutions provider,
Exactly.
right? So, is there anything else that you could recommend for our listeners today to consider when they're shopping for a cash discount program or credit card processing services, and how, kind of briefly, but how they might best find those companies that suit their needs? Is there a resource? Is there other, we talked about trade shows and birds of a feather, notwithstanding, but is there anything else that you think is salient to our group today?
I'm a big fan of, in all industries, not just credit card processing, that, referrals are key. You want to do your homework. And the good thing is the internet does a really good job, with reviews and, just seeing, what's the reputation of the company, search the Better Business Bureau. But asking for referrals is key. And going back to my point of, who's going to be representing the company, who's the good sales rep, who's the good account manager. So those are the type of referrals you want to ask for. Researching online is a huge opportunity. Attending the industry events, like we had mentioned, and even your own industry associations. There's a lot of, I'll call it chat groups, but just resources. Most industries have, some type of an association that they can reach out to. They have preferred vendors. They have, that they vetted out for the most part. I know that doesn't always work out, and sometimes, your smaller local merchant, provider may do a much better job. But those are the ways that less risky, if you will, in terms of selecting credit card processor. But reputation is everything, and you just want to do it. You want to deal with good people, good companies, good products. That's pretty much.
Great tips. Great tips. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for being with us today. I really appreciate your time. If you have any questions about today's podcast, please reach out to us through witham.com/hospitality.